Lower bracket finals, game number 1 between Nova Esports and Alpha Gaming.
Yes, the MKL representatives fighting for tournament life on the line in this best of 7. It's going to be Nova going up against APG. Nova onto the blue side, APG on the reactive red here. APG just coming back off a fresh victory against Blacklist International.
All right, and we're going straight to a pause. That's going to be the most exciting part of this day because this is going to help you build the anxiety, build the suspense for the match, because now we get to explore a little deeper into the details of the draft here, right? So let's explore this Swamp Seer skinned Milady pick against the Mai, and we're obviously with the Mortar as well. There's one thing that straight away in the mid lane they did for this Milady, which is they waited for the minions to show up before they drop those robots. I think that's a very important. A lot of people might overlook it, but saving your minions and bots to be able to form their mega bot is one very crucial part of Milady's gameplay.
And also, the composition, I really want to dive deep into the side of Nova Esports. Yes, your late game early isn't as strong compared to the likes of a channel here, but that's only if the channel is given the opportunity to scale towards that 4 or 5 item power spike here. If we were to put our focus on towards that Nova Esports draft, is looking very sharp and consistent, and this comes from a few things. You have the Ogren Diadea. This is already a very strong and early composition to snowball that game for you and for the early.
There we go, a very small tech pause there just to build up the ambiance in the stadium between these two teams. But obviously CY trying to contest those balls, but then Sabo's just like, hang on, have a raid check, baby, those balls are ours.
That actually is a very important part of the game, right? So actually making sure that CY does not get the growth that he's looking for is very important. At the same time, he protects the camp. Yulong gets the growth that he's needed in this game so badly. Still and secure comes in for the side of Xuan here, which means APG, yes, they made the correct calls, but they don't get the rewards.
They're not reaping the rewards of these reactions and their rotations right now, but they were able to get that space right. Obviously very much not contested here by the side of Nova Esports, so definitely making the rotation back down to the bot side or even to the mid here, as you see now the Fire Ninja Wendy rotating background.
Right, I want to take a look at how this rotation will impact. Wendy coming in. Now, this is not the usual Wendy hero that we see, right? Normally, he's very aggressive with the Mai Shiranui, the Fire Ninja. He's making this aggressive plays as well. But the risk is a lot higher with a Mecha Boss pick, right? The Milady, not very mobile. A lot of risk taken when you dive a little bit too deep.
Exactly. If you are lost into the source on this pick, it's definitely going to be at your own despair or even demise. But here comes Xiang swinging with the Storm Mace. Wow. They get the CC. They get the lockdown already, and CY gets taken down.
And APG, I think they're still fresh off of that series win against Blacklist International. They're taking that momentum, bringing it into game number 1 of this lower bracket finals BO7.
That's what I was really scared about, and even more, Bucci should be scared here as well, having to use the Parasol back to behind that T1 safety now, but Saber with Shishan here, getting caught out to that brush. He's going to die here, using that bit of farewell, but at the same time, Bucci looking pretty low. The wolves coming through, but they answer the call, they get the trade. Can they get Saber as well? The Peacebringer may actually end his maker, and it is the takedown for Waypits.
Important win for the side of Nova here. The trade was absolutely necessary, but even with that, APG still lead by about 1,000. And this is going to be very important for the side of Nova. They need to match the pacing on the side of APG, because if they don't, this Mai Shiranui, especially for Shushan and Yulong on this Swift Strike, is going to snowball out of control.
That recent CD key really threw me off there. I thought it says we goop, but it's actually we go up. So if you put that into game, it's going to give you gilded skin here for Jing. But back into the action right now. APG actually only ahead by around about 500 gold, which at this point in the game is not the difference maker.
And you know what the formula is? Gold sharing, right? This is the reason why so many members actually group up in the lanes. This is to be able to share the gold that is given to them, as well as the EXP. So APG, they're pulling ahead, they're trying their best too, but Nova, because they know what the strength of the composition is. Look, the blocking of Cannon Blast, so effective, slows down the push potential. They get that group up, share gold, share EXP, they keep up.
Exactly. It's going to be hard to get those kind of blast hits when you have the extra minions kind of blocking off the airwaves of the enemy team, which would have been needed in that mid lane when CY got took down, but it was just so much CC at his feet that it just meant that he was going to be pretty much dead to rights here. But we're looking at Muji into the bot side of the map, and he does build that Spark Forge dagger. He's looking for that attack speed. He's looking for that lightning.
Yeah, but the concern here for me is APG has a lot of control, right? You have the knockup from Shushan, because of the stun from Yulong as well. A lot of potential for the kills, but let's take a look at this one. 4 minutes in, this is the resto. It looks like Nova actually might not be too keen on this one.
Yeah, absolutely not. Obviously, you see CY trying to rotate to the mid lane there, but a takedown onto Wendy is almost at a crucial point there, but it's going to be the hard link for Wendy that keeps him alive.
And at this point, Xiang is just doing Xiang things. Right?
Oh, yeah.
He's making sure he's soaking all the damage so that APG can come in for that counter strike. And for now, it's looking like it's the winning formula for now. They've extended the goal lead. Still less than 1,000, but closing in.
Yeah, Xiang's literally swinging that mace like he's in a dark room and there's a ghosty trying to like exercise with it or some kind of thing. But it's definitely doing the job right. It's keeping away the members of Nova Esports. They do not want to face the Storm Mace himself.
Right, I'm very curious about this item. It looks like Wendy's actually going for the Master of Agony. No, but it's the half build for the Venomous Staff as well.
Exactly. I mean, it would make sense as well, right? Obviously, the healing from Xiang, and Yulong would definitely be at the detriment here now, but obviously Destiny counter. See, Saber flashing into that one as well. He has to obviously use the flash to keep himself alive.
Yeah, and that's the risk, right? Or rather, that's the strength of Wendy's pick on this Milady, also known as Mega Boss. We'll see if the rotations will make sense for the side of Nova here. They're starting to trail by close to 1,000 already. And you can see, even though they have the robot minions coming down, Wendy unable to find that because there is a lot of burst potential from the side of APG's lineup.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like it's kind of like a 1v1 into the mid lane, right? We're seeing like always like a 2v2, 3v3. So really, locking down Shishan is not going to be a problem because it's like, hey, we've cleared out the minion wave, let's rotate somewhere else. And that T1 down to the bottom side of the map is really going to put pressure onto the side of Nova Esports.
Looking much better for APG, right? They don't even get a response on the top T1 for the side of Nova. Right now, APG already looking to put damage on the T2. The response is coming, but APG are waiting in the shadows here.
Yes, obviously missing out that skill shot there is Yulong. He tries to parkour over the wall, tries to get the CC, but they get the T2 infinitely here. So now, again, Muchi has not a single lane, so you're going to be really seeing him very vacant on that bottom side of the map. But he is trying to place that pressure, trying to get that trade, that T1 top side now.
Immediately saved by the side of Xiang as well. Quite a bit of healthy damage, respectable damage put down by Muchi. Half the health of the T1 on the top has been taken, but less could be said for the side of Nova. The T1, T2 in the farm lane already gotten rid of. APG playing the map so well.
Yeah, the problem is when they have pressure down to that bot side of the map, you know for a fact that Crimson Golem is going to be taken for the side of APG and more than likely funneled over to Sun on Tichano.
And look, they've taken a T1 at the top as well, mirroring every move that Nova is making. Not only that, here comes the disaster. Eternity Blade in the hands of Sun as well. This guy has been on form for today. I mean, for every single series he's been on, he has been performing. And Sun seems to be the winning formula here.
Exactly. Don't stop him when he's on a good roll here, but that CC comes onto Yulong here from the Milady Ultimate Mecha Boss, just dropping that big nuke of damage, but it's not going to stop him.
I would like to say that he negated the damage, but when you take a look at it, it's still quite healthy, right? Yeah. The fact that Yulong had to expend his ultimate just to stay alive, that shows you the burst potential of Wendy. And CY going for the Ominous Premonition very quickly.
Using the Radiance here, we're trying to catch out for Waypit, trying to get to that intel, but it's going to be a very reactive Saber there. He's like, you know what, I know they're going to use it, let's try and get it out of the way here, so that slow coming to this next team fight is definitely not going to favor, or at least be at the utility of Nova Esports.
Okay, I have a question for you. So Wendy, this pick on the Milady, right?
Yeah.
The fact that Shushan is at the exact same level, has this pick worked out in favor for Nova? No. Because you want to keep them, you know, leashed.
Exactly, yeah. It's looking to try and like make sure that it kind of like keeps him down, but at the same time, if you're able to kind of maintain that pace, then you see it here. Yes, Wendy has a couple of like 200 gold ahead, but the Fire Ninja has not been placed down or even been stopped just yet. If anything, it's a crucial Rujin here coming in from the mid lane here now, maybe trying to come and save the side of Nova, but now CY gets taken down using the Conductor Soul to think inside the box with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ultimate. Is going to be a lot of lockdown here onto the side of Nova, having to use the Heartlink to stay alive, keep CY as this Tyrant is alive.
And they stay alive, that's the biggest part, right? Xiang actually had to take a fall. He was hoping the backup will come. It did come, but still, APG could not get the punish, and that is the value of wave pit on this Diadia as well. We'll see how this is going to turn out, because right now APG finally, if they've extended this goal lead, it's going to be close to 2,000. It's going to be a small pull coming in from the side of the Yilong Swift Strike. Not too much to cause any big usage of the flash or the ultimate just yet, but APG, this is a healthy approach so far.
Very healthy approach. Obviously, like you were saying, wave hit onto the Diadia is definitely going to play a dividend here for the side of Nova, but at the same time, they cannot catch a break at these neutral objectives. The other third Tyrant going up to the side of APG as they look for another ball into this mid lane. But we are starting to see that mid lane start to falter, right? Obviously, that T1 there looking not so healthy for the side of APG.
In fact, I would also add on, like, both the side lanes as well, not too healthy, right? Yeah. So if they manage to clear the T1s across the map, they balance out this deficit they're having now. And the mid portion of the gorge is going to be really dark for both teams, of which both teams have huge burst potential.
Exactly. I mean, if you can take down 3 T1s in certain ones, that's a fail swoop here to the side of APG. And they've taken 2 out of 3, and that ain't bad.
Yeah, take a look at what kind of difference can they make. They've broken the T1 in the mid. Great start, but the stuns are coming in. This will be control galore for the side of APG. One more slide.
It will be, but I mean, are they going to get the CY off the gorge here? And the answer to that one, probably no. They're just looking to make sure they keep this Azure Golem alive, because this is now the direct consequence of losing that T1 into the mid lane, is that your Azure Golem, as well as your Crimson, are all at the helm of your enemy team. So now we have to put a bit of pressure on to APG to make sure they're getting the clean clears into their jungle. But now CY looking to approach the Tyrant, the Shadow Tyrant that it is. But Yu-Gi-Oh claims it. Yulong makes a long play to claim that second form Tyrant here, but now Xiang does fall down for CY and Schwan. They're looking for a little bit more. They're looking for the range, but it's going to be the Heart Link that saves them, and now the Parasolar. Muji into the backline, but he gets taken down. Now it's left to Wendy to keep this mid alive.
I mean, this is perfect gameplay from the side of APG. The way they took that fight, sure, it was looking a bit dicey at moments, but they got the Tyrant buff, they got the win in the fight.
Blade into the favor of APG.
And you know what, at this point, if you're unfamiliar with what Premier HOK looks like, this is exactly what it looks like. One small mistake, a second of a difference, might cost you the game here.
Absolutely, as you can see, that T2 into the top side of the map looking pretty damaged now, so you're going to see that that's going to be one of the main focal points for the sides of APG in this next 5 minutes. They look to open that T1 into the mid lane and do get it now, but Nova are doing well, right? They're keeping alive and taking those Crimson Golems, but now Yulong finds himself in a sticky situation in the L crush. Speaking of L's, there could be more here onto the side of APG, but maybe the turnaround could be it, but it's not. It's going to be Wendes Shishan into the backline, overextended there. Now Muji gets taken down as well, so 2-1 trade overall. Make that a third. CY looking to clean up shop. Now, with Sun in a rock and a hard place, he gets taken down.
Yep. Overzealous effort. Saber might be the next victim as well. Commits the flash, but still getting chased down. CY, he might just escort him to the graveyard. Is it worth the chase though? Really? Going in again?
I mean, you may as well, because you got Wendy pushing that mid lane, right? So just keep him pushed away. He can't use the Cannon Blast to stop this powerhouse that is Wendy.
Yeah, and take a look at the damage. This T2 is gone. And with that quick response from the side of Nova, exactly what you want to see from the number 2 MKLC. Because right now, it's number 2 versus number 3.
Exactly, 3 is definitely lesser than 2 when it comes into rankings. You want to be second place, not third, but APG have definitely shown themselves in this one.
Yeah, they have, but right now that advantage has gone all the way into the hands of Nova as well. Nova now, with one felt swoop, can actually take down the T3s in the mid and, you know, open up access into the crystal.
They could do, right? Obviously, they are literally laying waste. That mid lane was hoping that that was going to be what APG was looking to go for when they got that 4 bang onto their side for that 2 trade. But now, Nova's just like, you know what? We'll show you how to play this strat. We'll take it 4-man, we'll take your T2s, and now we're looking to open up that base. But now it is going to be Xiang jumping in, but it's going to be the kill going up to Sun now. So Wendy, the cruise control when it comes to taking those turrets has been taken out of Nova.
Yeah, that's the burst potential that they're looking for. But right now, it's really the tank, right? CY also has the Blood Rage, a very important marker for him to survive. And right now, APG, they're making a beeline. They're trying to distract Nova from the actual objective, which is the Tyrant. But at the same time, they steal this away. This will be great for APG.
Yeah, if they get this double Tyrant, it's going to be huge here. We obviously see that CY, he claims the smite and claims Xiang as well. Sun, Shishan looking pretty low. Obviously, scaring off to the backside of that team fight, but Sun now maybe at the falter here. He does use the leader stance. He uses the ultimate of Chano, but just to drive away Nova.
Alright, the Souls of the Wolves have come to the aid of the side of APG, but Nova, they have a saving grace. They have the Shadow Overlord at this point, so this is going to help clear one full wave and one full lane of minions away from the side of APG. Now, can that be the turnaround condition for the side of Nova?
I mean, you can imagine Nova's looking for a few pickoffs here onto the side of APG, dropping down into the mid lane, and then just look to open up that base a little bit further here. Because you can already see it, Bucci as well as Wavepit, they're trying to escort that Vanguard down to the bot side of the map just to try and get an extra bit of T2 goodness from the side of APG.
I mean, if they can balance this map pressure, it's going to be huge. Muji does get it for the side of Nova, which means they can now make a decision. Do they want to go back or do they want to bait APG into another unfair fight?
Or they might just take away their Azure Golem and they try and do it, but Yulong gets a smite there.
I mean, we talked about the smite successes on both junglers, and of course Yulong has been pretty much up there against the other junglers across KIC2025.
Absolutely, and Maestro in his own role, but it's going to be the Vanguard being placed top side of the map here, so looking just to recreate that pressure now in the opposite lane. Obviously, as the Vanguard charges through down to that high ground turret into the bot side now, we see all eyes are on the side of the last standing T2 here for the side of APG.
Not going to be easy at all. Wendy is already at level 50. You're going to hit that final marker of EXP. Nice block by the side of the Maple down for Muji. This could be the defining moment of the game.
They very much could so. Obviously, the half a passage just going to use that to try and like bait them into a bit of a team fight. Once again, he's just trying to make way, trying to get that zapping damage onto the side of APG, but Yulong having to use that ultimate to try and keep away that Vanguard in the T3 territory that's forcing their way in. Yulong gets the HP heal back, but maybe with the Conductor of Souls, it's going to be enough to drive him out of that T3 territory. Xiang looking like he's in a hard place here. Going up against Squad into that mid lane, but the Ruenjin catching 3. But can they get any kills from it? No! Shishan falls, Xiang falls, Saber falls, Yulong falls, Sun falls! It's a team ace for Nova, and they take game 1.
Beautiful game from the side of Nova, looking shaky at the start, but that's the risk you take with a composition such as this.